Hello everybody, Kylo here and welcome to a new video. So I've just been back from watching Star Wars Rogue One and I want to talk about this movie a bit. So first off, I was actually not that I didn't really think that the last Star Wars movie was that good. I didn't think it was a bad movie, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't really like the cast of characters that much. I didn't like the villain, and while I did think it looked beautiful, it reminded me, a lot of the older movies and how it looked and how it sounded. I just didn't really think it was that fun of a movie to me personally. And while I liked watching it, I just think it had some issues. I didn't like, I said, didn't like the cast, and for me, it wasn't a bad movie. But out of the Star Wars movies, for me, it was actually probably one of the worst. At least close. So I've just been to Rogue One, and at first I wasn't that interested in the movie, and that is why I haven't been to the movie, from the beginning. But I saw some footage of it, and I actually thought it looked really interesting, and the idea was interesting. And I have to say that they did it really great. I really liked the cast this time around, and really all the characters. I didn't really dislike any of the characters, and it has some really great moments. And yes, if you're curious, Darth Vader is in the movie, but only for around 2 scenes, so don't get too much out of it. But he's in the movie, but I think it's cool nonetheless. I just think that it's really cool how this sort of movie, it explains a few small little details. And what the biggest thing of this movie is really sort of the Death Star. So we all know the Death Star from the movies, and while we know that, it's like basically a weapon of mass destruction, we also know that well, that, I never really looked at it like this fucking scary thing or something. I knew what it could do, but it never really seemed that intimidating to me personally. And I thought that when it destroyed it, it was pretty quick. So this movie goes on and explains a lot about the Death Star and a lot of things that I think make the Death Star feel much more cool, in my opinion. So like I said, I thought that the cast of characters was really good. The soundtrack and the visuals and everything, they are still great. I mean, it looks fucking beautiful. I went to see it in 3D. It didn't really add that much, but nonetheless, I think it was a really cool movie. I really liked it, and I just had a lot of fun. I thought that the pacing of the movie was just great, and I actually thought that how the characters sort of were built up, I think was actually pretty great. And yes, this is a movie, and this is maybe a bit of a small spoiler, so maybe, fast forward around, 20 seconds if you don't want to hear it, but it's a very small thing. So yeah, the characters, they die. Almost all of them at the ending, and, well, to be honest with you, it's something that you kinda expected. So this is a movie that is actually, I think it's after the third movie, but I'm actually not sure on that. Maybe, there were probably people who know it, precise, but I think it's around that sort of time that this happened, and it's at the time when they, start off with this sort of Death Star and everything. And I think this movie just does it great. I mean, it has some great looking, scenes and planets that they get to go to. It has some great action scenes. And in the beginning, I was really like, the rebels were really strong in comparison to like the stormtroopers or like the Empire. But later on, it went sort of mixed, like 50-50 in terms of how they did it. And I like that. I'm somebody, when I watch Star Wars, I like the good guys, don't get me wrong, but I think that the bad guys are so likable in these movies just because of, I think how they play out. Like, many people, like Darth Vader, but I think that there are big villains, and I think that Darth Vader, although he's still a villain, I think he's a villain that you sort of like in a way, which is pretty weird. And to me, this movie just does it great. Like, these scenes are beautiful, and they work beautiful, and they look beautiful. And it's just, the cast and everything, it really fits. And I think that first of you might be like, well, this movie is maybe like a bit of a cash in because it doesn't really need to be released in, some way. But I think they did it in such a way that it feels so great. I mean, I personally think that this movie, it explains some things, but I think it's cool that they do this, and I don't really have an issue with it, releasing like a sort of Star Wars, sort of side story, because that is what it is, it does have to do with the main plot of the original movies, but it does also have to do a lot, with new things, like there are new characters in. I think there's only one character that's Darth Vader that actually is from the other movies, and for the rest, it's the same cast that you expect to be in the movie. And that is actually something, I like it. I think they did a great cast. And for me, it's sad that we won't see these characters return. and well, we probably won't see them return. But I think it's just, I think it's a sad thing, you know, with the newest Star Wars movie. I was just not impressed with it. I mean, it looked good and everything. Yeah, I said that, but it was for me such a disappointing movie, and to me, it's sad that I was so disappointed with it, because I think I didn't really need to be disappointed with it, because I think they had, you know, all the power to really do it. Like, you know, Han Solo and everything like that were in that movie. I thought were great. I mean, yeah, you know, I'm not a big fan of Han Solo myself, but it's cool to see them back in the movie. But all of the other casts, I just didn't like. I didn't like the Stormtrooper, or like the Rebel Stormtrooper, you know, actually a Rogue One as well. But no, I didn't like him, and I think it was called Flynn. I don't remember his name. I think that was his name, but you know, I think when I have to think so hard to get a name, that's kind of, you know, it's not a good sign. And Rey, you know, I thought that Rey was okay. I mean, I've heard some people, you know, talk about that, you know, she has like the Force, but she's female, and you know, we learned that only male can do it. I'm not sure about that. I don't really care about it that much, but it's not something that I think I really like. I mean, yeah, sure, you know, that was a thing, but I just didn't really like the character that much, and the villain, and you know, I think the villain needs to be so great, but that villain, I mean, you know, he stole my name, but no, I'm just joking about that, but it is such a pathetic villain in my opinion. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but oh my god, I thought he was so bad as a villain, and I didn't really seem like a villain at most points. Like, you know, I don't know. I think when he looks, I think he looked funny, like without his mask, and like this sort of sword type, with this hilt sort of lightsaber. But then it's just, I didn't really think it was like great, and everything that really happened, I really sort of expected. You know, I didn't really see anything, you know, interesting in that sort of way, and for me, that is a sad thing about the movie. But even though it has that, I don't really think it makes it, you know, a bad movie. And with this movie, I think they are really going upwards. I thought that this movie was great, and I would absolutely. It makes me more hyped for a next Star Wars movie if they keep, you know, this. Well, if they would keep this cast, but they're not, because they're probably going with the cast from the other movie. And if they don't do that, you know, don't get me wrong. I mean, I will still watch it, but you know, I would like it probably a bit less. This was, you know, sort of a short video where I wanted to, you know, sort of voice my opinion on it. And I know that like it's a short video, and I know that, you know, it's not a review. I don't really review movies, and I don't feel that I'm like sort of qualified for it. You know, I know a bit about movies, but I can't really say, you know, I like it as a movie, true, but I can't really talk about a lot of things, you know. But to me, I thought it was a really enjoyable movie, and I thought it was a great movie in my opinion, even. And I think that I recommend you to watch it. And I mean, you know, Star Wars fans, they probably already watched the movie, and that is understandable. I mean, it is something, it's sort of a universe that you're so, you know, sort of interested in. And actually, right now, I'm actually downloading um, some Star Wars games on Steam. Well, I had to buy them first, so that is a bit of a thing that I had to do. I actually bought the Star Wars The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, and I'm probably going to buy Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens as well. Well, my download speed is really not very slow right now, so that kind of sucks, but I'm going to be playing these games, you know. I know that the Force Unleashed 1, I had it on a PSP. I know that this isn't the best game, but for me, I actually like the story in that game, at least. Well, it's like, I don't know when it was released, but it's long ago, like 2008 maybe or something, so, you know, I've changed a lot, so maybe right now not, but I like the story and the soundtrack, and the gameplay was okay for me. But I don't know about the PC version. It has some pretty bad reviews on Steam. Not that they say a lot, but yeah, I'm curious how the game will actually play out, and maybe I will actually do a review on this game. It depends, you know. I think if the game is it's worthwhile to, you know, sort of review. I mean, I've heard some things about cutscenes not playing well. If I can't fix that, if it is an issue, well, then I probably will say that it's an issue and probably not review it, because I simply can't, because I'm not going to play the game if there are cutscenes. It's as simple as that, you know. I like it actually for that story. And I remember, yeah, like order, like yeah, the order mode. I don't remember the name actually, but oh my god, order. Well, weirdly enough, in my head, I'm like Order 96, Order 96, 69, Order 69. No, I know that is not that, and I know it's a joke, but it's, I don't know, but I remember that mode where, you know, I always played like a Darth Vader when that happened, you know, like everybody turned on you. It was pretty hectic, it was pretty cool in my opinion. So, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.